The views and opinions on this show do not necessarily reflect the views of ESPN Tucson 1490 AM, 94.9 HD Channel 4, or the Arizona Lotus Corporation.
Welcome to Spears and Ali on ESPN Tucson.
Justin Spears, I like that.
With Justin Spears and Ali Farhang on 1490 AM, 94.9 HD Channel 4, ESPN Tucson. Brought to you by Tucson Federal Credit Union, the Volpe team at Nova Home Loans, and Rightway Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
I want to be entertaining, but I'm not stupid enough to compare myself to Ali.
It is Fade Spears Friday here on Spears and Ali. Welcome to the show. We appreciate you guys for listening to Spears and Ali. Check us out on ESPN Tucson live on 1490 AM, ESPNTucson.com, and the ESPN Tucson mobile app. And make sure you subscribe, rate, comment on Apple and Spotify, and check us out on Spears and Ali YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel today. Fade Spears never fails, guys. Never fails.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's 100%, but it's in the 90s.
It's definitely in the 90s, man. Definitely in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yesterday, and we are going to talk about Arizona baseball going to the Super Regional against North Carolina. We are going to talk Aaron Rodgers finally signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Plus, we got Freak Out Friday later on this hour. And then we got some good friends coming in from Rightway Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Huge shout out to them. They're one of our sponsors here on ESPN Tucson, in addition to Tucson Federal Credit Union and the Volpe team at Nova Home Loans. It's going to be a fun Friday episode of Spears and Ali, but
we got my weekend winners, which I'm on
yes, sir.
Which I'm on the opposite of Fade Spears.
Okay.
So not to jinx myself, but undefeated so far.
Excellent. But Fade Spears, man, it's the gift that keeps on giving. And I was on this show yesterday, Ali, talking about, man, the Oklahoma City Thunder, they're 8-1 at Paycom Center this NBA playoffs. They have outscored their opponents by 221 points. They are very dominant, and they've been resting. They've had 3 more days of rest than the Indiana Pacers. So I'm like, man, they're at home. They're a buzzsaw. They've been so dominant in the playoffs. I'm riding with OKC to win and cover the 9.5 points. And not only did Indiana cover, but they freaking won the damn game. As a matter of fact, they only led for 0.3 seconds of the game.
Yeah.
They trailed the entire game.
Yeah.
And they were down big. And it was, to cite my guy, Zach Lowe, who did a podcast yesterday with Bill Simmons, it was like, I agree with him. It was the strangest game ever, because I'm like, okay, Indiana, they're going to be all right in this series, but OKC game 1, they look so damn dominant. I mean, they were up by 15 points
in the third quarter.
In the third quarter, and it looked like OKC was going to just cruise to victory. But yet, for some reason, the Indiana Pacers just kind of just stayed there. And they went on a 12-2 run and got within striking distance. And Tyrese Halliburton, who didn't have a game that you can write home about, but he had the biggest shot of the night there towards the end to put them ahead
again
at 111, 110. And like Ollie said, again, every single playoff series this year, Tyrese Halliburton's had a clutch moment. People, NBA players, the great ones, they always have those 1 or 2 iconic playoff moments. I feel like Tyrese Halliburton is on a heater that we haven't seen since 2006 Dwayne Wade.
Not since. It's never.
Seriously.
I mean,
it's crazy.
He has 6 shots with under 30 seconds to go that either tied or took the lead in these playoffs. The Indiana Pacers, since 1971 in the NBA Finals, teams by trailing by 9 or more with less than 3 minutes are 0-182. Now it's 1-182. I mean, it's incredible.
That's crazy.
They
refuse to die. Man.
They're the Michael Myers of the NBA. And let me ask you this, Justin. Again, I'm going to borrow from. I had to listen to a podcast last night, of course. Bill Simmons and Zach Lowe got together. I listened to it. It was about 40 minutes long. Bill Simmons asked an interesting question. Who was Indiana's MVP last night?
Oh, man, Rick Carlisle? Benedict Mathurin for his great block with 4 minutes left.
But
I mean, there was really no like.
I mean, the last shot, Halliburton's right, and then
Sure.
maybe Pascual Siakam, solid. Indiana won that game as a team. OKC, it was like SGA and not much else. I mean, Lou Dort had some threes, but Jalen Williams didn't play that great. He had a couple of shots in the second half. I think he was 6 for 19. SGA took 30 shots last night.
Wow.
So it was a team win by Indiana, and you're right. Rick Carlisle showed again why he's one of the best strategic coaches in the NBA.
Absolutely. And Indiana, they now make it a series. It's 1-0 Indiana.
They could play better.
And
they had 24 turnovers last night.
19 in the first half.
They can be better. So we have a series, folks.
Yeah.
Which makes guys like me and you and anybody that doesn't have a dog in the fight happy. And which makes guys like me and you who are rooting for Benedict Mathurin and TJ McConnell to hoist the Larry O'Brien trophy very happy. So let's go Pacers.
Speaking of the Larry OB, I have something to say regarding that. But let's take a quick phone call here. 719-1490. That is our studio line if you want to join the conversation. We've got the Tony, the one and only, joining us today. Buenos dias, Tony. How's it going?
It's going good. How about some Hallie Magic again? Good Lordy. That game was so exciting to watch last night. Your last point of Carlisle, the man just believes in his team 100%. It's amazing what they've done through this playoffs, and this playoffs that we're talking about here. This ain't no regular season. It's crazy. TJ had the most points going into or second most points at the end of the first half.
Mm-hmm.
Just goes to show once again that their bench is very strong. Carlisle knows how to put their players in at the right time. OKC, why didn't you have Chet Holmgren in there? Pascal was eating up Wallace. Wallace put up a fight, but they had to switch over to the door so they can put some muscle on him. That was amazing. And by the way, for my Tony top line over the weekend, take OKC first half, take Pacers to win second half.
No, I like it. Pacers go 2-0 and win the first two games in OKC. Tony, that's bold.
Yes, sir.
That's bold, boss.
That's bold.
Very bold. All right,
Yes,
Tony.
sir.
Always appreciate you, brother. Thank you again for stopping by the studio a couple weeks ago. It was nice to finally meet you in person, man, and have a great weekend, man.
Yes, sir. Have a good one, guys.
You
See
too,
you, buddy.
Tony. Thank you.
Hey, but by the way, I thought Richard Jefferson, who I think is doing a great job being the lead team in the NBA coverage, made a really good point. OKC adjusted to Indiana before the game even started because all year long, OKC had started two big men in Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren. They came out with a lineup of just one big. They started Hartenstein, brought Chet Holmgren off the bench because they were afraid of Pascual Siakam just eating up Holmgren, which is why I don't think Holmgren is an upper echelon player. And anyway.
I think he's learning right now. I think still early 20s.
Okay, well, you guys need to morph your bodies together. He needs more meat on his bones. But yeah,
I'm happy to.
In fact, if I stretched you out to 7'2", that would be you'd look just like him.
Look like the Big Show.
Yeah, exactly. But and then he didn't play two. And then Dagnow, that's the coach for Oklahoma City, didn't play two bigs for a lot of the game. Now the 5-out lineup that OKC was playing was great as far as their defense. I mean, they were creating all kinds of havoc, all kinds of turnovers, but they couldn't rebound. Indiana 56-39 rebound advantage over OKC.
Nuts, man.
So sometimes this is not just basketball. The biggest problem coaches have is out-coaching your own team instead of the other team. And I'm not saying that that's exactly what happened in this case, but man, you roll out with what you've been doing all year, then you adjust. Don't start changing things. I thought it was I thought Jefferson made a great point. Like I said, a win for Indiana just out the gate when OKC did something different than what they've been doing all year long.
We brought up TJ McConnell just a minute ago. Andrew, if you could pull this up, actually. You know who's very complimentary of TJ McConnell recently was maybe the greatest player of all time, and LeBron James. LeBron went on the Mind the Game podcast with Steve Nash, and listen to what LeBron had to say about how TJ McConnell affects the game.
You think it's a time to Hallie's come out and TJ McConnell comes in and he doesn't look apart. He doesn't look, he's not super athletic, can't really shoot the three, and you think it's a time to relax. Anytime any of my teams have played against Indiana over the last couple of years, that's even more heightened awareness because TJ changes the game as well.
He does.
TJ comes in with mad pressure on the offense constantly. He gets into his Nash dribble. He's circling around. And if you're not accounting for him, then the minutes that you thought you were winning, you could win with Hallie on the bench. You end up losing those minutes 8-2, 7-4, 9-3. Right. And those are huge minutes. If you are the opposing team, there's no time. And Rick Carlisle and our good friend Lloyd Pierce.
Shout out to Lloyd Pierce.
Yeah, shout out Lloyd Pierce, our good buddy over there. They're not allowing New York to take a breath.
I think you age yourself when you're doing one of these podcasts and you still got the earphones with the wire connected to the computer, right?
The earbuds.
That's not the same. The earpods, yeah. I mean, instead of the earpods, the ones that you got when the Apple first came out, right? Yeah. He's still got those, but he's right. I mean, TJ McConnell, he played great.
He didn't have the greatest game, and towards the end, the inbounds pass that resulted in the layup for OKC. I was like, no, TJ, no, but
OKC
didn't matter.
They couldn't throw the knockout punch, man. They could never just kind of finish it. And Indiana just did a great job of sticking around and then doing what Indiana does at the end of the game. You let them stick around, they're going to get you.
All right, last clip before we transition, Andrew. So I love international broadcasts. Listen to the call in Korea of Tyrese Halliburton's game winner at the end of that fourth quarter here.
자, 언더독인 인디애나가 익숙한 상황을 맞이한다. 할리버튼 버튼을 합니다.
Halliburton! Wow! I think that's so awesome, man.
That's incredible.
I mean, honestly, I don't think that those sounds, those words were not echoed in every country exactly the same. Anybody watching basketball was like, wow.
Hallie!
I can tell you firmly. So last night during the game, I was at a nice small little soiree to honor Coach Steve Robinson with the U of A basketball team, his retirement from U of A. It was a very nice, Coach Lloyd, Coach Murphy, a bunch of good speeches, former players, former coaches, former players that played for him that are now coaching, a lot of videos, montages. And then it was kind of done, and we're just watching the game. I can tell you, U of A basketball firmly for the Indiana Pacers. It was just to be able to watch with all the coaches in the program and like kind of hear like, oh, look at this, look at that. It was that was a lot of fun. But
yeah, man, especially for Tommy Lloyd, this is the first time that one of his Arizona guys is in the NBA Finals, and he's actually, I mean, in addition to Benedict Mathurin, but he recruited Chet Holmgren, and then Nembhard too, right? Was he a Gonzaga guy as well? So,
he was, yeah.
So Tommy's got a few connections in these NBA Finals.
Yeah, it was fun to watch with a lot of good people last night. Just look, that's all we wanted was a series. If you don't root for OKC or Indiana, all you want is a series and to be able to enjoy basketball before the season ends and it not go 4 or 5, goes 6, 7. And what I saw last night, I didn't think Indiana could win this series. I really did not.
Yeah.
I was wrong. They can win this series.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it goes the distance. That's when we talked about it yesterday. I'm like, I firmly believe OKC is going to win this series. I just don't want it to be a 5-game series, especially because, I mean, let's be real here. It's as far as basketball casuals, nobody's really tuned in to this series. I think the product on the court is as good as it gets. But, of course, it's the Thunder and the Pacers, not the sexiest names in the world. I want this series to be sexy. I needed to go 6 or 7 games.
It is. Can you let me know what you're betting in the next game?
Sure. I got you, man.
Yeah.
Fade Spears.
Yeah, I will
Fade
definitely.
Spears.
I would like to know that. By the way, you're kind of a hater, Justin. What about that crowd when Hallie hit that shot?
Oh, man.
Have you ever seen 22,000 people so silent before?
And
they were you could feel their anxiety as the game was unfolding at the end.
Yeah.
And it just culminated with this moment where it's like a double pump 3-point shot that goes in, nothing but net, and crickets.
Well, and this is a crowd that kind of has PTSD because they've been in many playoff series late in the season where they've had this done to them. The one classic example is Steph Curry with the Golden State Warriors when the Thunder back in the day with Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook blew a 3-1 series lead. And then in one of the games in Oklahoma City, the Warriors rally back and Steph Curry hits that shot late. And this is a franchise that has seen some pretty tough shots in their home arena.
I mean, but I mean, I don't think they've been good enough for long enough to have PTSD. If they have PTSD, then they need psychiatric help.
The Lakers, when they had Kobe.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
I mean, we're talking about like early 2000s.
No, like late 2000s, early 2010s.
Yeah, whatever. Come on.
But
I haven't recovered since 2012. I have PTSD from that.
They've been kicked in the
Justin,
nuts.
with all due respect, there's no storyline there. There's no like, oh, it happened to OKC again.
I'm fishing.
There's
I
no.
got a nibble.
Okay, well,
I'm fishing and I got a nibble.
I think
you got the weeds.
It's moss.
The Indiana Pacers, using inspiration from 1975 when Golden State had 36 turnovers and still won an NBA Finals game.
Yeah.
They engineered the strength, remembering that we can win. Rick Carlisle even talked about it. He's like, "You guys remember Rick Barry?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure we do."
Well, and not just that too, but watching Halliburton over the course of the playoffs as well. Like, shoot, I have no dog in the race, and even like the hair on my arm stood up as soon as the Indiana Pacers had the ball towards the end of that game. It was awesome to watch.
Mr. Clutch, man. I mean, he's made 6 out of 7 shots in these playoffs to either take the lead or tie the score with less than a minute to go in these playoffs. And I think that's his 3rd game winner. He had one against Cleveland, he had one against New York, and now he has one against OKC.
And shall not be denied.
Insane. Yesterday was the day of comebacks. We saw the Indiana Pacers rally back to take game 1 of the NBA Finals. And the Diamondbacks yesterday scored 7 runs in the 9th inning to beat the Atlanta Braves 11-10, and they swept the Atlanta Braves. Big win for the D-backs. Now that they've won 4 straight games, remember they were struggling there for a little bit. Now they're back to 500. So now the D-backs are back to looking like them old selves. Just a huge game yesterday for the D-backs. And what's so funny is, according to Major League Baseball, the D-backs had a 0.1% win probability in the top of the 9th. And then they ended up winning the game.
Yeah, they did that for Indiana. Like 5 of the games they played in this playoffs, like if you would have bet that they were going to win,
like at the inbound,
at certain point of the game, if you would have bet Indiana was going to win at these particular games where they've come back, it was like 1 in $1.5 million.
Oh my God.
If you would have bet $1, you would have won $1.5 million if you just
or $100
or something like that. Whatever, $10.
Yeah,
sure. $100. Yeah, man.
Gino Suarez, he was the one who hit the go-ahead 2-run double.
Great bets, though, is when my guy Brad Fatt is pitching for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
I was just going to say, your guy Brandon Pfaadt, a.k.a. Brad Fatt.
Brad Fatt, man. If you just bet the other team's going to score 5 runs or more, you're pretty good shape, and you get okay odds.
Dude, what's wrong with Pfaadt lately?
He's got a 11.09 ERA in his last 5 starts.
Jesus, just throw it underhand at that point.
It's pretty damn terrible.
I mean, he's a righty, right? Try the left. You got 2 arms. One ain't working. Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
That's ridiculous.
Big win for the D-backs. Lourdes Gurriel, by the way, he extends his hitting streak to 11 straight games. He's been on a tear recently. All right, so what's next for the D-backs? Well, after sweeping the Atlanta Braves and winning 4 consecutive games, now they turn their attention to the Cincinnati Reds. That game is at 4:10 p.m. later on today. You can listen to it right here on ESPN Tucson.
Where's it at?
Cincinnati.
All right.
In Cincy.
Chilly town.
All right. Before we talk Arizona baseball.
Third comeback story.
What's that?
Aaron Rodgers coming back?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
We're going to talk about Aaron Rodgers coming back. Plus, we're also going to talk about Arizona baseball taking on the North Carolina Tar Heels in the Super Regionals. Ollie, real quick, we have a date for the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl.
December 27th.
December 27th at 2:30 p.m.
That's right.
Excited, man.
Ready to go.
Year 2 with the dog.
Maybe not the best day to drop a big news story in Tucson yesterday.
Yeah, I'm like,
we had two gentlemen kind of going at it on social media,
and it's not me and Ollie.
It was a big breakup, and big breakup. Rocket Man and Teflon Don, and then we had the best meme was what was it? It was the Alien versus the Predator. Yeah. And then what else? Then Indiana's late comeback, and then Aaron Rodgers signing with the Steelers.
Finally.
Oh, by the way, Arizona Bowl, December 27th, Arizona Stadium.
Yeah.
We might have to
We're just gonna put the flyer here.
Yeah. We might want to send it out again today.
Let's resurface the news.
Yeah.
All right, coming up next on Spears and Ali, Aaron Rodgers signs with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Finally.
I told you before mandatory camp next week, he's going to do it.
We're going to talk about Rodgers signing with the Steelers, and then we're also going to talk Arizona baseball against North Carolina coming up next. So, the big news hit yesterday.
Which one?
And not the big Twitter beef that everyone is talking about, even though the guy that we are talking about is somewhat invested in those guys. But the Pittsburgh Steelers have finally signed quarterback Aaron Rodgers to a 1-year deal. Finally, we all knew that it was going to happen, but we were like, okay, Aaron, what's taking so long?
Why
brother?
are you not on my? I'm a reporter. I need the news now. Why aren't you on my timeline? It's about me.
No, I never said it was about me. I just said that Aaron Rodgers is so full of himself. Why are you dragging it out this long?
I think Ollie's been dealing with some media.
It's not dragging it out. They had a conversation. They had a plan. It's like, hey, right after voluntary OTAs, right before the mandatory camp, I'm gonna sign. I'll come in. And by the way, you know what he's been doing?
Working out with DK Metcalf?
Yeah,
ayahuasca.
No. But I will tell you that I can guarantee this. I can't guarantee anything when it comes to Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. I'm going to hope for the best. I'm going to start with love, and I hope I don't work myself to hate. But one thing I will guarantee you is there will be, in the fall, a lot of people wearing black and gold with Fu Manchus. I'm just going to tell you right now, it's coming. The Fu Manchu is coming back in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I love this move for your Steelers. Because, I mean, look at the quarterback room. Mason Rudolph was in line to start. And then you have Will Howard that they just brought in, who's going to be a great quarterback. I think Will Howard at some point will step in and lead the Pittsburgh Steelers after Aaron Rodgers is done.
Come on, Justin. Say that he's not going to be any good.
No, he's going to be. I think he's going to be good.
Damn it.
Yeah.
That's like he's headed to Canton.
Yeah.
Already.
And then, I mean, if they didn't add Aaron Rodgers, man, that quarterback room would have been very interesting, but they do add the veteran who's nearly 40 years old, or is he 40 years old?
He's 41.
So he's 41 years old. His first year with the New York Jets, obviously plays 4 snaps and then suffers the Achilles injury. Last year, the New York Jets were an absolute train wreck, but Aaron Rodgers wasn't that bad. And I think that's what bodes well for the Pittsburgh Steelers is the fact that Aaron Rodgers played decent last year for the New York Jets, and it seems like a perfect match because in the post-Ben Roethlisberger era, there's been a lot of turnover at that quarterback spot, inconsistencies at the quarterback spot. And meanwhile, in Aaron Rodgers' life, there's been inconsistencies with the teams, right? Whether it's the Green Bay Packers not adding offensive weapons in the draft, not putting the pieces around him, the New York Jets, they are the New York Jets. So I feel like both of them are like, hey, we've been in really bad relationships. I feel like we're really good for each other. Let's give each other a hug and let's rock out.
Yeah. Now it's time for the daily segment, which I've been waiting for, of Ollie's Steelers talking points of why this is good. I've been working a lot on this. Number one,
pros and cons list.
I have no cons.
Yeah,
no cons.
This is
the only con is Amir Khan.
Yeah. This is or Genghis. I mean, he was kind of famous. So number one, 24 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Aaron Rodgers last year had the fourth lowest interceptable ball rate. He was right behind Lamar Jackson. So he probably had more interceptions that were unlucky at bouncing off a receiver. Fourth best. Number two, we saw a 39-year-old Phillip Rivers play good for the Indianapolis Colts and take him to 11-5 record, played really good in the playoffs. I think Aaron Rodgers has the same, if not better, skill set than a 39-year-old Phillip Rivers. Number three, the New York Jets organization's a clown show. They were very poorly coached. And so to be able to judge Aaron Rodgers even off what happened with the Jets is kind of unfair. Steelers have a much more solid organization, a much more solid environment at the offensive with the offensive coordinator. They've got a lot of good skill guys. So it's a better fit for Aaron Rodgers as far as being part of an organization that is not a daily clown show, which are the New York Jets and have been. Adam Lazarus, as long as you've been alive, the New York Jets, my buddy Adam Lazarus, who's a Jets that hates Aaron Rodgers now and was saying all of these talking points when they signed him. The Jets suck, and maybe Aaron Glenn will turn it around. But you got Woody Johnson, bear down, Woody. You don't give anything back to the U of A, so screw you. Even though he's an alum, the owner of the New York Jets. Yeah, I'm all over the place.
Bullets flying everywhere.
Woody Johnson was an Arizona alum, gives nothing back, and he lets his sons run it, and he's over involved in everything. And as long as that guy's the owner, the Jets are going to suck. So good luck with Justin Fields. He's going to throw more bounce passes than Magic Johnson in the 1980 finals this year. So I think it could be good. And the thing is with Aaron Rodgers is you get a guy that is mentally still sharp. He knows where to go with the ball. He's got tools. The biggest question is, they got to be able to protect him. He's still 41 years old, doesn't move like he used to move. So the offensive line is going to be a big part of it. Moved our right tackle to his natural position at left tackle. The guy we drafted number 1 last year from Washington, Fautanu, he's healthy. So if that offensive line can be solid, yeah, man, we're going to be fine. And Mike Tomlin and Aaron Rodgers have had an affection for each other for years. So
that was going to be my next question
and that's a good situation. Have a coach
alphas.
like that.
They're both alphas.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering,
he's a player's coach, though. Mike Tomlin knows how to push the buttons of guys. And he's dealt with Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, George Pickens. He's dealt with divas before.
Yeah.
Trust me, dealing with Aaron Rodgers is nothing like Antonio Brown. He dealt with Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown, if he didn't self-sabotage himself, would be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
No doubt.
So it's a good match. Let's see what happens. It looks like I will be rooting for Aaron Rodgers in Dublin, Ireland. I got my tickets yesterday.
Nice.
Yeah.
Plane tickets or game tickets?
Plane tickets done.
Okay.
Hotel done. Guinness tour done.
Amen, brother.
Dublin golf course reservation made.
Man.
Yesterday was the first day that tickets really went on sale. I got right on. I bought the 50-yard line, pre-party package, all that. Got it done. So I am set for Ireland, baby.
Ollie McFarhane.
That's right.
Can't wait.
Holly O'Shaughnessy.
Hey, I'm already practicing for Ireland. Screw the English.
I'm glad you weren't here yesterday when we had an Englishman soccer player sitting right where you're sitting at.
Yeah, but I'm not. I wasn't here yesterday.
It's true.
Yeah, I mean, look, in Ireland and Scotland, even if their football, soccer teams are not playing in a tournament, they still all gather around the TV to root against England.
Yep. That's awesome.
That's not an exaggeration.
No. By the way, you'll appreciate this. So this is according to, I think, Pickenham on Twitter. And according to them, the Pittsburgh Steelers haven't finished in the bottom 5 of the NFL in over half a century.
1969.
Nice. The only other team that's in the same ballpark is your rivals, the Baltimore Ravens, who haven't finished in the bottom 5 since 1996. Everybody else well into the 2000s.
Yeah.
So the Pittsburgh Steelers have been very stable. And I think, and that's why I say maybe on a 1-year deal, this could be a match made in heaven
1-year
for both
deal.
Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And 1-year deal, and expect the numbers to be like 10 million plus incentives, right? So it doesn't cost that much. And the Steelers have a plan. So all you Steeler fans out there, we have a plan. And all the pundits out there are like, you have to lose so you can get and that's a loser mentality. You want to compete every year. So they're going to compete. They're going to try to win a championship this year. We've got 12 draft picks next year. We're going to use a bunch of them, trade up. It's a great quarterback class coming out. I've already started scouting, listening to a lot of Todd McShay podcasts and reading a bunch of stuff on guys like Drew Aller from Penn State, Nussmeier from LSU, Clint Klubnik from Clemson, Norris from South Carolina. There's a lot of good quarterbacks coming out next year. There's a guy we're not even talking about that's going to rise up. So we're gonna use a bunch of draft capital, move way up in the draft, grab our franchise quarterback, because I mean this is unsustainable. Now I'll just be practical. This next year will be, unless Aaron Rodgers signs again and plays with us next year will be the 6th year in a row we have a different starting quarterback game 1 of the season. So you need more consistency at that position. You gotta spend whatever it takes to go draft the guy that you believe can be the next 15-year quarterback for you. That's going to happen next year. But in the meantime, we're going to compete, man. We always compete.
And here's why I'm very high on your Pittsburgh Steelers. It has nothing to do with Aaron Rodgers. Actually, it doesn't have anything to do with the offense. It's the other side of the ball.
Yeah.
I love their defensive front. And I think getting Derek Harmon from Oregon, which is a very, very unique story. I mean, the guy lost his mom on draft night. Like, I can't imagine the roller coaster of
the
emotions
next day.
or the next day.
Yeah.
That you lose your mom, and in the process, your whole life has changed forever, and your family's life. So Derek Harmon, a unique story, man. I hope that guy's doing okay right now, but he's a stud, an absolute steal for the Pittsburgh Steelers there on the defensive line. You pair him up with Cameron Hayward, you got TJ Watt, and then at linebacker, you have a guy like Patrick Queen, Peyton Wilson,
Keanu Benton, and then you got another guy in the 4th round at Ohio State, just a football guy, and Jack Sawyer. You remember Jack Sawyer running that touchdown back against? Yeah. He was the best defensive player on the field against Texas in the national championship game.
Yeah.
And wrote that song about it.
And then on the back end,
hey man, as soon as they drafted him, I'm like, Jack, I'll be your Huckleberry.
And then on the back end, Darius Slay, Minka Fitzpatrick, Joey Porter Jr., Beanie Bishop Jr.
At the nickel. Look at you. I like it. I could not do this with the Chargers this deep.
I got the depth chart up.
Oh, you do?
I know the guys. I know the names.
They signed Darius Slay. That's still got some game in him from Philadelphia. The Steelers are going to be set. They need to sign TJ to an extension. And I think also Deshaun Elliott, who they got last year, who played really well for them at safety, signed him to an extension. And they're still looking for one more offensive weapon. They called about Kyle Pitts. They've been talking about Jonnu Smith, Gabe Davis, Keenan Allen. They need one more. I would like to see one more receiver added to the mix. I like Gabe Davis, man. Got that big deal out of Buffalo with Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Speedster, can stretch the field. Big guy. Or maybe we just trade for Adam Lazard. Who knows?
But the defense, Philadelphia Eagles, look at all the other recent Super Bowl winners. Defense is what wins championships. And I think Pittsburgh Steelers got a damn good defense. And then they got a quarterback. So we'll see what all these Steelers can do. All right, coming up next, let's talk about Arizona baseball in the Super Regional against the North Carolina Tar Heels. You're listening to Spears and Ali here on ESPN Radio. Arizona baseball taking on the North Carolina Tar Heels in Chapel Hill. Nice little morning pitch coming up here in a little bit, yeah?
Right when the show ends, man.
As soon
as you're done listening to us, whatever device you got that you can hide at work that your boss doesn't see, and maybe watch the game. Fire away.
Heck yeah, man.
Tell him Ali said it was okay.
Well, I'm excited for this matchup because, one, you have the red hot bats by the Arizona Wildcats outscoring its opponents 49-9 in the postseason, 31-6 in that regional last week in Eugene. But then you got the North Carolina Tar Heels that maybe have the best pitching personnel in all of college baseball. They have the the third lowest ERA in all of college baseball. They got your boy Jake Knapp.
Oh, I was going to say Jake Frick. Jake Knapp.
Jake Frick. It's a great name.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jake Knapp, 6'5", 270-pound pitcher. Ali says just bunt down the first base line.
Just a couple times. Make a move, man.
Get him going.
Make a move.
Put the pressure on him a little bit.
I want to see his sweat bead. I want to turn him into Brad Fat today.
Well, Jake Knapp is the ACC Pitcher of the Year, and he's a damn good pitcher. 13-0 on the season. So the Wildcats have their work cut out for him. But you know what? Jake Knapp has never seen Mason White. He's never seen Aaron Walton. So we'll see how these bats look against North Carolina's pitching rotation this week. And then on the other side, you have a guy by the name of Owen Kremkowski, who's a Sahuarita native, played at Walden Grove High School, struggled in the early stages of the season, but has really ascended into becoming Arizona's ace pitcher this season. And he's got a 4.73 ERA, 9-5 record. He's pitched just over 85 innings this season. And, the pitching rotation, they had to figure out the pieces and how they wanted to establish that. Owen Kremkowski has emerged as that number one guy. And in the postseason, he's been absolutely lights out. So
I think his last 3 or 4 starts, he's got a sub-2 ERA.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a big challenge for Arizona, but I like the balance that the Wildcats have, and we'll see if they can get it done against one of the best teams in baseball right now.
I think when you've got 2 pitchers that are going well right now, the key, especially to getting game one, which is a key in and of itself, is get the lead. Get the lead. You don't want to be trying to battle from behind, even 2-0 when you got strong pitching. And yeah, like I said, North Carolina's got a big guy in the mound. I'm sure other teams in the ACC have tried it, but it seems to me like if you kind of make him, it would seem like it, what is he, 6'5", 275? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like you could get that guy tired quicker than, let's say, a skinnier guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, you would know. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Also, the Arizona baseball team, they have this cool little tradition. I don't know if you saw that, where they award the player of the game with a little like Hot Wheel toy car.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. My colleague, Michael Lev, he wrote a story on it. It's been a big part of the season that no one has been talking about. Hot Wheels and honoring the player of the game with a little toy car. That's been a thing for Arizona baseball this year. And Arizona, I mean, baseball teams are just habitual like that. Like if they do something that's a little weird and it results in wins, they're going to keep riding that. And so early on in the season, when they struggled, they started giving away the Hot Wheel MVP of the game. And that's what really, I guess, turned around their season.
Is the Hot Wheel Camaro with the Firebird on the hood? Because that would be cool.
Yes, I mean, sometimes you get a Lamborghini, right? Sometimes you get...
It's a different Hot Wheel?
It's a different Hot Wheel every single
time.
Game. Every single game, they have a new Hot Wheel.
And so, I mean, maybe I should read the story. Who's buying the Hot Wheels and awarding it?
I don't know. I think one of Chip's assistants.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the Smokey and the Bandit car would be an awesome Hot Wheel. You guys know what I'm talking about. These guys don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Did you ever
Burt Reynolds and Sally Fields, buddy.
Okay.
Smokey and the Bandit.
Did you ever have Hot Wheels growing up?
Of course.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. I'm a dude.
Were you the kid that lined them up?
Yeah, man, we did all kinds of things. They had the Hot Wheels box, right? That you put the cars in, and then, then you let your imagine. We didn't have iPads. We had to actually use our imagination to entertain ourselves.
I didn't grow up with iPads.
Well, cool. Not about you. I'm just saying.
Seems like you thought we did.
No. I mean, it's like with the phones and the iPads now. It's just like, oh, well, here, just use this iPad and watch videos all day. And babysitter. Yeah, we had like the blocks, like the cabin blocks, and all baseball cars,
Lincoln
football,
logs?
Lincoln logs.
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff. We actually went out in the summer. We it's like, well, it's 10 o'clock. You guys get out of the house and don't come back till 5 for dinner. You got to figure out what was gonna,
There's a viral tweet going around that said, "Did parents in the 70s, 80s, and 90s really let their kids roam free?" And so many people have had stories like, "Yeah, my parents," like Derek Montilla from PHNX Diamondbacks. He was like, "Yeah, In the summer of 92, my dad gave me $20, dropped me off at an amusement park, and said, "Be here at 6 p.m. I will pick you up."
I think it was Universal Studios.
Universal Studios.
Yeah, he was like, it was great.
Yeah.
You spent the whole day, $20. You could get a meal. You know, you learn how to stretch a dollar, right? A lot of good.
$20 over 8 hours.
A lot of good tools. Hey, you need to learn how to be patient, standing in line. You figure out all the intricacies of Universal Studios. What can I go to when to make sure that I've, get the maximum benefit of being at this park? So yeah, Derek, one of us.
Absolutely, man. Also in Arizona baseball news, U of A closer Tony Pluta was named one of 13 finalists for the National College Baseball Writers Association Stopper of the Year, which is an award given to the top relief pitcher in college baseball. Tony Pluta currently has a school record-tying 13 saves in 14 appearances. He's got a 1.39 ERA and has limited opposing hitters to a 185 batting average. Pretty damn good for Mr. Pluta.
We want to see him in the 9th inning today.
Damn straight.
He should mean good things.
All right, Arizona baseball taking on the North Carolina Tar Heels later on today, or no, in 1 hour at 9 a.m. You can watch that game on the Deuce, ESPN 2.
Go Cats, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, damn, you tricked me.
I mean, you still hesitate. I mean, if without the University of Arizona, what would you be doing right now other than Spears and Ali, which is awesome?
Without the U of A?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
If it was just Spears and Ali, would you say bear down and root for him?
Yeah.
If it was just this?
Yeah, 100%.
But because you write for the football team, you can't even say go Cats without a hesitation for the baseball team.
Can't do it. Can't do it. I got to maintain my objectivity.
Why can't you maintain your objectivity and also root for a team that's from your city, from your local university?
I mean,
why?
I'm just not going to publicly say it.
You're just not. You're not talented enough to do it.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Can't chew gum and walk at the same time.
Okay.
I'm asking questions. I'm not judging.
It took 4 years, but we're here.
Yeah.
Bear down. You happy?
I am.
Go Cats.
There
you happy?
you
Damn it.
Yeah.
Damn you.
We like Chip. We like Arizona. Let's go.
All right. Coming up next on Spears and Ali, we've got Freak Out Friday. Stay tuned. All right. Now it's time for Freak Out Friday. Talk about some things that are weighing on our minds or some things that are just so damn cool we got to highlight. Ali, you got any Freak Out Friday submissions?
I mean, it's just the wow factor, man. I mean, Indiana Pacers, how can they not be my Freak Out Friday? It's just the comeback last night, winning again in dramatic fashion with another Halliburton winner, and Indiana going in and stunning 22,000 people and that stadium being silent. And like you said, Justin, Indiana didn't lead in that game till 0.3 seconds were left in the game. They trailed the entire game, but they stayed close. They made a run at the end. And, Indiana continues to make records that are unbelievable. Teams that are trailing by 9 or more with less than 3 minutes are 0-182 in the NBA Finals. And now Indiana's put there's one that beat the odds. So Indiana Pacers, comeback kids, the Michael Myers of NBA basketball. They're never dead. Do not turn your back. And they got a knife. So
they got a knife.
My Freak Out Friday.
And by the way, in the movie's Halloween,
Yeah.
when they think that Michael Myers is dead, why wouldn't you take the weapon and away?
Remove it.
Like, what? It's like, well, he's dead, I'm sure. And I'll leave the knife right next to his hand.
And they never double tap.
Never double tap.
Yeah, make sure.
That's one of the first rules you learn in Zombieland.
Double tap.
Yeah. Don't jump in. Don't run into the barn with all the chainsaws. Don't run in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, go ahead.
My Freak Out Friday is connected to the NBA Finals, and it's how bad the product is. Not on the court, but everything else surrounding it. Take me back to the days where the Larry O.B. was on the court.
That makes the product bad.
When I watched the game, there was no, they didn't show the national anthem. Leading into the broadcast, it didn't feel like the NBA Finals.
So the production was bad.
The production, yes.
Okay.
The production by ABC/ESPN.
Did we used to hear the national anthem?
The pregame hype videos, like when you watch the NBA Finals, you knew exactly what you were watching. And to be honest with you, yesterday it just felt like a glorified regular season game. It really did. The broadcast, the presentation, the fact that they show pictures of the court at OKC and they're like the stage is set and you can zoom in at any part of the arena and there isn't the little logo of the Larry O'Brien trophy that you normally see in NBA arenas. It feels like just the production, the broadcast, it doesn't feel as grand as it used to be.
You didn't think the broadcast was good? Mike Breen and our guy Jefferson,
Richard Jefferson. I think RJ's great. I think Mike Breen is one of the best basketball play-by-play broadcasters of all time. But the fact that the halftime show,
halftime show.
Yeah.
Since when has there been a halftime show at the NBA Finals?
Kendrick Perkins. It's only like a minute and a half, right? Like you want to hear the people talk about what we just saw in the first half after the game. Since the game is on ABC, it goes into some random channel that's just background noise at that point. It'd be nice to, 1 hour after the game, you have Scott Van Pelt, you have an Inside the NBA type of setup where they talk about the game. Instead, the game just ended, and then all of a sudden it's like America's Funniest Home Videos.
But on ESPN, didn't it go to?
It went to SportsCenter, but that's the thing is you had to change the channel because the game was on ABC. So the game's on ABC, it ends, and it's just some random background noise TV show. And I'm like, what the hell is this? And then you got to flip over to ESPN where TNT, they do such a nice job where the game ends and then you have Inside the NBA. You don't have to flip your channel.
But it's always been like that before TNT. I don't remember there being like a post-game show on when it was on NBC or CBS or ABC. You flip over to ESPN. What a weird thing to be freaked out about.
No, and that's why I'm saying the production needs to be better.
It's the trophy.
It's the NBA Finals. The trophy, the broadcast.
He wants the trophy on the court. All of this is.
How am I wrong?
I don't know, man.
Stanley Cup was on the ice before Game 1.
All I know is this: from what you said, it's going to be interesting with the format of TNT. Those guys are going to ESPN. They get to speak for more than 10 seconds. It's going to be interesting to see how that goes.
Hour number 2 coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
What's his legacy?
Spears and Ali back here on ESPN Tucson, 1490 AM, 94.9 HD Channel 4, and the Spears and Ali podcast. Spears and Ali is presented by Tucson Federal Credit Union, the Volpe team at Nova Home Loans, and Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. And speaking of Right Way, we've got a couple of gentlemen here from Right Way. We got Kevin and Hugh. Hugh is the drain manager.
Correct.
That's how you go by?
Yes.
And then Kevin's working with the marketing. And we appreciate you guys for stopping by our studio to talk about all the great things that Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing is doing now. And recently, I believe we had Richard and Clarissa in studio to talk about Unclog for Dogs. That was like a month or two ago.
Yes. Yep, it has.
How is Unclog for Dogs?
It's
so
doing
far?
great. Tucson is receiving it really well, and the community is reaching out, and it's doing a great service for the animals of Tucson.
And Unclog for Dogs, for those that don't know, it's for every drain that Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing unclogs, they donate 5 pounds of dog food?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And so how many pounds of food have you guys raised?
I'd have to say we're in the tonnage. I don't know if we're going measuring it, but we've got to be in the tonnage already.
That's amazing.
And the funny thing is, shelters are still asking us for more. So we're still promoting it. It's still ongoing. So we're excited, and we want to thank Tucson for the big push that they're doing on this.
How did this start?
This was an idea that I think one of our sister companies was using, that Clarissa, our marketing department, was exposed to and thought it'd be a great thing to bring to Tucson. And then when Ali heard about it, it was great that he donated his time to get behind it. And that's, we want to thank you for that. I don't know, sometimes the community realizes how much community service you put out there, but all of us at Right Way want to say thank you for generating your time to support this cause.
Absolutely, man. And I just want you to know, when you talked about tonnage and Unclog for Dogs, my guy here, Spears, was thinking, I've got an idea about Unclog for Spears with canes. So for every unclogged drain, Spears you donate $5 towards Spears's Canes budget.
Mm-hmm. It's a chicken tender.
Yeah.
Every drain unclogged.
Toast butter on both sides, right?
Bob, baby.
Yeah, the Bob, yeah.
Butter on both
Yeah.
sides. Butter on both
You're
sides.
thinking.
Yeah. Let me ask you guys. I mean, Hugh, as I understand it, I mean, Right Way's been expanding, and you were one of the companies that kind of they merged with.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
So I always talk about do business with businesses that make your community a better place. And we're really fortunate at Spears and Ali to have 3 show sponsors that epitomize that. They're you guys do it. There's not an event you can go to in town where you don't see Nova Home Loans, Tucson Federal Credit Union, or Right Way. From a culture team standpoint, right? We talk sports, but businesses are the same. When you were working with a company that gives so much back to the community, what does that do for your culture as a business?
It does a lot in the sense that it makes you feel like a family. We are a big family there, and you really feel it when you're stepping out on the weekends or after hours and you're involved in a community service and you see what happens to the people that you're serving. When people come up and they've got tears in their eyes, they want to give you a hug. You don't know who they are, but you're doing stuff for them, and that just hits you at home. It's a great culture representation of the ownership of Right Way and all the management and all the service people that work there.
And you guys have been connected with the University of Arizona. Like I see Tommy Lloyd is doing commercials with you guys. How has that connection been like for you guys?
Correct. Yeah. Year over year, we're the corporate sponsors for the Arizona Athletics. And that's something that's just a big passion for us, supporting local youth athletes. Not just that, but also just so much alumni staying here in Tucson. So being that company that represents local sports, local events. And, it's funny because 90% of our customers, homeowners, are U of A fans. So it's just great to go into the home and just bear down. They have big Tommy Lloyd posters. And it's just something that we're super passionate, excited about. So we're super grateful to be partners with the University of Arizona and just looking forward to continuing to support them. I mean, bear down. We have a baseball game today. So let's go for a big win.
Yeah, not to put you guys on the spot, but you walk into a house, they got the front doormat says ASU Sun Devils. Surcharge, right? This is surcharge.
We don't say it out loud.
Well, speaking of the U of A, you guys are Wildcats fans. When you guys think about U of A basketball, what is your all-time favorite U of A basketball team?
Oh, the championship year.
97?
Yeah.
What are you, Kevin?
I just go every year to watch the games. I can't tell you exactly, but I just say that I was the U of A year 2015 through 2018. So those are the best years of U of A basketball to me.
Oh, man, what a time to go to the U of A. You saw TJ McConnell, who's playing in the NBA Finals right now, Lauri Markkanen, and then your last year was DeAndre Ayton?
Yes. Yep.
Man, hell yeah.
That's not bad, right? Unconditional love. See, that's what it looks like, Justin. Unconditional love.
Absolutely.
And he doesn't want to choose. He doesn't want to. He doesn't have to be A or B, right? LeBron or Jordan. It's just I love the both of them.
He likes those floor seats.
Yeah.
Damn straight. All right. So now that we are in the month of June, weather is starting to heat up. We've been very blessed with the weather over the last couple of weeks, but that's going to change here in a little bit. So is this the busiest time of year for Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing?
I think we're busy all year round, but in different facets of the company. The HVAC does great in the summertime, but we still do the heating services in the wintertime. The plumbing side, it's really year round, but it shifts from interior work to exterior work. And then on the drain side, it's just different drains that we're doing. We have different drains that occur more in the summer growth season. And when there's more population in the house, people are not outside as much in the winter months, then we have more interior drain problems. But we're busy constantly. We're always looking to hire. It's a busy place, a lot going on.
As far as air conditioning goes, do you have any tips or anything that you could provide for our listeners as far as maybe changing out filters, how often you should check those units?
That's the biggest thing, is to be on top of changing your filter out on a regular basis. And if you have an issue, the thing that I like working at Right Way is we've got competent, skilled, stand behind your work type of service technicians, but also we're not small operations. So if you're working with that handyman, the guy down the street, he's on vacation for 2 weeks and it's 115 out, we've got enough service techs that are going to cover the work. That's what I like, is we've got depth in our service team.
Excellent.
Yeah. To add to that, I just want to recommend everyone, your AC system is like your car. You need to get the oil change on it. right? You need to get a tune up on it, maintenance. So that's my big thing is before the big seasons, just get a maintenance on it. We'll come out and we'll take care of you.
Let me ask you this. Do you guys, and we're going to do video next week, so I'm going to double dip on this in case anybody's not listening. Do you guys have recommendations of where you should have your air when you're not in the house versus on the house for the best cost savings for a homeowner?
Yeah, so our technicians are great. They've been in through a university program. Right Way hosts the university program where they get taught all the fundamentals behind HVAC and how, especially here in Arizona, right, where we have a very unique environment. So yes, the cool thing about having these technicians at your home is you can ask them these questions, and you know what, they go from home to home. We go all about comfort. So obviously, if you live in an older home, bad insulation, we have different recommendations to you versus if you have a double story home and you have 5 kids running around the house versus if you have my wife that loves it when it's 60 degrees in the house, and I'm like, oh, that's just way too cold for me.
60.
Yeah, 60 is only for hotel rooms. Right. When you're at a hotel, you can notch that all the way down to the high 50s. Exactly.
We also have smart service systems that you can control the thermostatic situations from your telephone. So if you leave the home and you forgot to turn it down, you can go back on your phone and turn it down. And then you can turn it back up, or you can time it. Say, I'm on my way home. I'm 15 minutes away from home. You can go to your phone and turn it back on. So it's nice and cool when you get there.
That's amazing.
And can you add that component or that feature no matter what kind of system you have? Like, is that something that you guys can install and it's compatible? I'm not talking about maybe an air conditioning from 1974, but something that's relatively new.
Yeah, you can. And the nice thing is we'll come out and we can give you a free evaluation at no charge and talk to you about what your options may be.
Wow. I don't do free evaluations. You want to talk to me about a case, there's a consultation fee.
I asked Ali something that took me maybe 4 minutes, and he's like, okay, I'm going to bill you for $800 or something like that.
That's about right.
Yeah.
No, I didn't bill you. I just said, you owe me for
you
life.
Owe me.
You owe me.
Those Canes gift certificates.
Yeah, Raising Canes. No. It's probably more likely I get money out of him, and that's saying something than Cane's gift cards.
Yeah,
because he's got alligator arms. It's weird. Every time we've gone out to eat, he forgot his wallet at home.
Yeah.
I'm
like, I only got Apple Pay. I can use my phone if you like.
But you see, we don't leave the table empty, do we?
Exactly.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
So I have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. When I'm not home, 79 degrees is what I set it. While I am home, 73, 74.
Yeah, whatever your comfort range is when you're at home, and when you're not, 79 is an acceptable temperature.
Excellent. Okay.
So from a sports perspective, I'll admit to you, I'm insane when it comes to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like, insane. Do you guys have that one team or that one sport that you're bordering on insanity?
Craig, our plumbing manager, who has a special right now going on with on-demand water heaters, which is a really hot item right now. He is a huge Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
Well, I already know he's probably a handsome guy, very intelligent.
He is. He has your hair.
He has my hair. Yeah, I don't have a lot of clogged drains from hair,
no.
At least from my head.
Yeah.
That's where it went.
Now, Sasquatch here, I got a feeling you might be making a service call soon.
We're at his house about once every 3 months.
Yeah.
All from the beard.
Yeah.
Kevin, you got any passionate teams?
I'm local, man. Go Cardinals.
Okay, Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah.
I love it, man. All right, before we get you guys out of here, is there anything else in addition to Unclogged for Dogs that you would like to promote or talk about regarding Right Way? What you guys are doing?
What we've got is we patched that easy to remember 88 drain phone number. When Right Way acquisitioned our company, we brought that phone number along and like to reach out to a lot of our thousands and thousands of past customers. If you call that 88 drain phone number, that triggers the effect that'll go, and that's where that dog 5-pound dog food is going to come from. And associating with a lot of these shelters and places that take care of animals that have been abandoned, lost, for whatever reason, something's happened to those animals, and call that 88 drain number for whatever you need. And that's going to trigger that 5 pounds of dog food. In the service that we provide, though, that drain unclogging, we are also giving a complimentary video inspection of the line so they know what caused the issue, or what condition their plumbing is in.
Man, that's
awesome.
they call that a ganga locally.
And also, in addition to the Unclogged for Dogs and donating food, if you want to help out, you can also donate toys.
Correct. If you
leashes.
see one of our service trucks parked at a house, or you could bring it by our office locations, any dog dishes, cat dishes, or pet toys, you can drop them off. Or like you say, if you see one of our service techs in your neighborhood, which you probably will, there's so many of us, just pull up and they're expecting that and just hand it over to them.
So my neighbor works for Right Way.
Yeah,
you just stop by and be like, "Hey,
give it to him." Well, maybe not at 2 a.m, but
sure,
yeah.
on your way in, right?
Which he's been known to do.
Yeah.
His nickname in the neighborhood is the Creeper.
You drive an ice cream truck.
Yeah. It would be okay if it wasn't for the clown makeup.
That is our guys, Hugh and Kevin from Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Go to rightwayac.com for more information regarding Unclogged for Dogs. And
or call 88 Drain.
Or call 88 Drain as well.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you for stopping by. And also thank you guys and the Right Way team for not only supporting us here on ESPN Tucson, but also doing a lot of great things for the Tucson community. You guys are awesome.
Oh, it's been a pleasure working with you guys.
Thank you for having us. Thank you, Ali.
Yeah, you listen, when it comes to heating, cooling, and plumbing, there's a wrong way and there's a right way. I don't know if I just made that up.
That
or
was
not,
a
but
great plug. That was a great plug.
New slogan.
Choose the right way. Yeah. Go local.
Choose the right
Do
way.
businesses with businesses that make your community a better place. Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing is certainly that.
All right, coming up next, we're taking your phone calls, 719-1490, 719-1490. We're talking NBA Finals in Arizona baseball.
By the way, I'm
coming up next.
trademarking that guy, so we need to talk. You're gonna use it.
Blue Moon presents the 17th annual Iron Chef Tucson competition and culinary experience on Saturday, July 26th at Desert Diamond Casino's Diamond Center in Sahuarita. Chef Anthony Dromgoole from Oban Sushi and Ramen is defending his title against Chef Mackenzie O'Leary of Tanque Verde Ranch. This is going to be a great cooking showdown. You can enjoy culinary samples and drinks from restaurants all across Southern Arizona before the battle begins. Get your tickets by going to IronChefTucson.com. Partial proceeds to benefit the Community Food Bank of Southern Arizona. And the Iron Chef Tucson competition and culinary experience is brought to you in part by Whiskey Del Bach and Peroni. We're going to talk to Shotgun Spratling, who covers college baseball. He's one of the national guys from D1 baseball. And Shotgun is going to preview the Arizona versus North Carolina baseball game. We'll also talk to him about the SEC and just kind of their big stinker in the postseason. Not really a big surprise. Was it 9 SEC teams got eliminated? We only got a few left in the NCAA postseason, so not a good year for the SEC. We'll talk about that with Shotgun coming up here at 8:40. But if you want to join the show, call in at 719-1490, 719-1490. Huge thanks to our guys Hugh and Kevin from Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Talk about all the great things that Right Way is doing, including Unclogged for Dogs. Right Way, every drain that they unclog, 5 pounds of dog food will be donated to Pima Animal Care Center. So if you care about the puppies, make sure you do business with Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Yeah, 88 Drain. And Hugh, man, saved you some money today.
He did.
Kind of schooling you on what it means to be an adult and doing things the right way. That's great.
It's amazing.
It feels so, I don't know, just good to not have to be the one always doing it for you. Like, maybe we should bring Hugh around more often.
Yeah, I do appreciate the elder statesmen in my life, because people like you, people like our guy Hugh, heck, Saul Bookman, like I have a lot of mature people in my life that are schooling me on how to do things. And yet, so I'm learning.
And yet you're the one who acts like an 80-year-old grandfather screaming at the clouds.
It's amazing.
You're a riddle. You will always be a riddle.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I think he just called you and Saul old.
He pretty much did. I called him untalented a little bit ago. So
that's true.
Yeah, we'll just
I guess everything balances.
The elder statesman.
I mean, I'm older.
Yes.
I still kick his butt.
It was the world in color when you were little, Ollie.
Yeah. I mean, look, man. I mean, we have having indoor plumbing now and not being able to drive motorized vehicles as opposed to a horse and buggy. Yeah, it's great.
The motor car.
Yeah. Born in the 70s, man.
All right, before we talk Arizona baseball with Shotgun Spratling, man, last night's game 1 of the NBA Finals was epic. And a very strange game because Indiana, they won the game, but they were trailing the entire game. As a matter of fact, they didn't take a lead until 0.3 seconds left of the game after Tyrese Halliburton's big-time shot. One of many clutch shots that Tyrese Halliburton has hit this postseason. I can't remember the last time we've seen a player that had this many clutch moments. And I said earlier, like, I haven't seen a guard on a heater like this since Dwayne Wade, but Dwayne Wade was just great. As far as clutch moments, it's hard to really summarize what Tyrese Halliburton is doing right now because he didn't have his best game of the postseason.
No, like 14, 10, and 6.
Yeah, right. Like that was a very, by Tyrese Halliburton standards that we've seen this year, kind of just a regular game for Tyrese Halliburton, but he hit that big shot down the stretch, and it was a very even win for the Indiana Pacers. Right? We talked about how it was a good team win, but then in the clutch moment, who is that guy that always rises to the surface? It's always Hallie, time and time again.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the box score, it's like 14, 12, 10. Like everybody contributed. I mean, Obi Toppin off the bench, who when he came in looked.
Gimmicks.
What's that?
Real names, no gimmicks.
No gimmicks. Obi Toppin.
Yeah, every time we mention Obi Toppin, he's got to mention the Obi Trice line.
Gotcha. From Eminem. I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, he has 17. And when he started the game, he started really bad. It seemed like everybody was nervous. I mean, he had 3 turnovers, got benched. They actually put in that Bryant guy, Thomas Bryant.
Yeah.
And then he sucked, and they're like, okay, we'll roll with Obi. And then Obi, hit a bunch of threes, and he had 17 points off the bench, Mathurin contributed a little bit. I think he had 9 points for TJ McConnell. So it was a very team win, even though Halliburton, Mr. Clutch.
Yeah.
You got to start calling him Mr. Clutch. Even though he kind of sealed it at the end. OKC, they kind of changed things up a little bit. Didn't do what they've been doing all year. I thought they were in control the whole game. Man, at the beginning of the game with their defense that they were playing, it was stifling. I mean,
and that's been their brand of basketball this entire season. Is they're going to create a bunch of steals, and they're going to get out into transition, and that's how they get their points, when they play fast and create turnovers.
Yeah, and I mean, if you would have told me before the game that Indiana would have ended with 24 turnovers, I've been like, OKC is going to win by 20. The game made no sense. And I say that as a guy that bet on Oklahoma City to cover the 9.5. It made absolutely no sense at all. I mean, it's just because what we've seen in these playoffs, especially in those kind of games, is OKC goes on, they're going to be up 8 to 12 points, and they go on that one big run. And next thing you know, you're down 24.
Yeah.
That just didn't happen last night. And you got to credit Indiana.
Yeah. This team is, they're so fun to watch, and the pieces that they've added over the last few seasons, coupled with a great coach in Rick Carlisle, I think we're going to see Indiana maybe take Oklahoma City down to the distance. I said yesterday that it was going to be OKC in 5 games, but I would like to see it go 6 and 7. But I had OKC in 5. Now with Indiana stealing game 1 of this series, I think this is going to be a 6 or 7 game series. I really do. This was a huge win for Indiana, and they completely put OKC on its heels.
Bet on the gentleman's sweep now.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
My weekend winner is going to be actually related to game 2.
Okay.
Yeah. So whenever we're doing that, I'll see if we can go 3-0.
What did you think of the Wildcats in that game last night?
I think Mathurin played 17 minutes, 16 minutes, 1 for 5.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him get more involved. He had a great block on Lou Dort last night.
It was so clean.
So he contributed in other ways, not in the scoring column.
It was on Lou Dort?
I think it was on Lou Dort.
Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't catch that. I was like, oh, Wildcat on Sun Devil Crime.
Yeah. I didn't think about that. And then I thought TJ, he had that one bad pass from the baseline that led to Jalen Williams dunk, but he calmed down too, and he played a solid game. And like I said, it's just everybody contributed. Everybody had their good moments and their bad moments for Indiana last night. And if look at the assists, look how many assists Indiana had versus Oklahoma City. You got that number?
The assists?
Yeah.
So the Indiana Pacers had 24 assists, and the Oklahoma City Thunder had 13.
13. So Oklahoma City was carried by one guy who shot 30 times, and he's great, had 38 points. Man, I thought he was going to shoot 40 times. I think he shot 19 to 20 times in the first half.
Yeah.
And Indiana, on the other hand, everybody contributed. So it's Oklahoma City's got to get back to they weren't themselves last night. And I thought the moment was really affected everybody. Being in the NBA Finals, man, in that situation, there's a lot that goes with that. And I thought players from both teams were a little bit tight at the beginning of the game. But Indiana hung tough and then, pacered it up at the end of the game.
So who needs to be the guy that steps up for OKC?
Jalen Williams.
It's got to be.
He's got to be the second best guy on that team.
Yeah.
He's got to add some scoring to that team. I'm not a Chet Holmgren fan. I don't think he's good. I don't think he's he's tall and he's got some skills. I think he's
overrated?
Overrated. I think he's really overrated.
Oh man.
I mean, I think
you're writing a storyline for Justin right now.
Yeah. I mean, look, he might have, 25 points, but to me, he's just not developed enough. He's not big enough. He's not strong enough for NBA basketball. He can hit the three, he can dribble, he's got skills. But if you're relying on Chet Holmgren to be your second guy, I don't think that's going to work. Jalen Williams is the second best guy on that team. He needs to step up. And if Lou Dort hits the 3-pointers he hit last night as a complimentary player, I mean, yeah, they're going to be in good shape. Look, OKC, they lost last night. They lost to one Eastern Conference team all year. So that's the second loss to an Eastern Conference team. They were dominant at home. I think they are now like 84-14, including the playoffs. Let's not get carried away. That's one game. OKC is still going to be tough to beat in the series.
All right. In other NBA news, St. John's head coach Rick Pitino said on the New York Yankees broadcast he is absolutely not interested in the New York Knicks job.
St. John's is perfect for him. I'm glad he said that.
Yeah.
Who's going to be the next Knicks coach? Did they nick it up again?
It's got to be Mike Malone, right?
So you were going to replace Tom Thibodeau, Mr. Stubborn and Mr. Grumpy, with Mike Malone, Mr. Stubborn and Mr. Grumpy.
But he also doesn't
speak about the dueling Supermans or Spider-Mans.
Well, I think Mike Malone would actually be better because he's not relying on 5 or 6 players playing 40 minutes a night. He actually taps into the bench.
Yeah, I mean, but he has the best player in the world than when they won the championship, and Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, all that. I don't know. Maybe Mike Malone. I mean, to me, can Mike Malone take you to where you want to go? What are you going to do with Cat? What about Jalen Brunson's dad?
Yeah,
that's awkward. Is he going to be on the staff? Are you going to tell a coach, hey, we'll offer you the job, but Jalen Brunson's dad's got to stay on the staff? Usually when there's like mandates like that doesn't work out.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I thought maybe Jay Wright would come out of retirement, the former Villanova coach. I think he's an excellent basketball coach, but he's living the high life, looking handsome as ever and making money on TV. So I don't know if he wants that.
So I'm looking at the latest odds, and this is courtesy of DraftKings Sportsbook. The next Knicks head coach, the top guy is Mike Malone. He's got plus 125 odds. Johnny Bryant, who was not hired by the Phoenix Suns, he was a finalist, but because he didn't go to Michigan State, he didn't get the job. Instead, that goes to Jordan Ott.
Hey, and thank God, Suns fans, your owner, Matt Ishbia, is now going to get more involved with the team because what he was doing, I guess, wasn't involved under his definition of involved.
Really?
Oh, you didn't see that? He's
No.
like, oh, no, I'm getting more involved now. I've been letting people
boy.
do their jobs. It hasn't worked out. Now I'm getting more involved. You were the guy who had an extra draft pick and Cam Johnson for that. We said he had to make the Kevin Durant trade. So
less than a week of being on the job.
He's the funniest owner in sports right now.
He is.
Yeah.
Looks like Dave Hickey's like evil brother. a little Dave Hickey there.
I mean, the guy's a very successful businessman, very smart, obviously knows what he's doing, but maybe basketball wise, maybe he should take a step back, but he's not going to.
Well, especially now that he's hired general manager Brian Gregory, who's completely unqualified. And during his introductory press conference, just had a word salad, said all the buzzwords, all the key things. And there was just no substance or plan to what they're going to do right now in this tough situation. But the good news for the Phoenix Suns is Devin Booker was heavily involved in the coaching search. Apparently he was there every step of the way. He approves of Jordan Ott, is a big fan of his. So if Devin Booker approves and he was the guy that signed off on it, I think that speaks or that bodes well for Devin Booker staying with Phoenix, right? Because we talked about maybe them blowing it up and starting from scratch. I think Devin Booker approving of that hire, I think shows that Book is going to stay. But Jordan Ott was also with the Brooklyn Nets when Kevin Durant was in Brooklyn too. So I don't know what their relationship is like.
It doesn't matter.
I think KD's going to be out on the way
they're
out.
trading him for sure.
How about Dan Hurley, coach of the Knicks? Let's do this all over again. Dan Hurley flirting with the NBA. He's the new Coach K.
Dan Hurley. Well,
I think it'll work.
It'd be interesting.
Dan Hurley at Madison Square Garden.
As long as they hire him after we beat him.
Damn straight. I always forget that's happening. In Storrs, Connecticut this year, Arizona versus UConn. All right, coming up next on Spears and Ali, we're going to talk Arizona versus North Carolina baseball. The Wildcats are taking on the Tar Heels in the Super Regional. It's the first time Arizona is in the Supers under head coach Chip Hale. We're going to preview that game and more with Shotgun Spratling coming up next. Arizona baseball is in the Super Regionals for the first time under head coach Chip Hale. We'll see if the Wildcats can get it done against the North Carolina Tar Heels coming up here in about 20 minutes on ESPN2. Here to preview that game and also talk all things college baseball with us is our guy Shotgun Spratling from D1 Baseball. Shotgun, good morning, man. How's it going?
Hanging in there. Got to Louisville, so I'm getting ready for the regional over here with Miami and Louisville, but looking forward to watching a little bit of the Arizona-North Carolina game on TV beforehand.
Yeah, man, it's we got 20 minutes until first pitch, and this is going to be an epic battle because we're talking about Arizona outscoring its opponents 49-9 in the postseason if you include the Big 12 tournament, and then you got North Carolina that has the third lowest ERA in college baseball, so it's going to be North Carolina's arms versus Arizona's red hot bats. I'm excited for this series. What's just kind of the storylines that you're looking forward to most when you watch these two teams play?
I mean, you mentioned the pitching in North Carolina. I think it's interesting. It's a different dynamic, but the pitching staffs are what have carried both of these teams, and you wouldn't really expect that from an Arizona team where you lost so many quality pitchers off that staff last year. But Kremkowski's been really good for them. The bullpen has been electric. Can they take a lead to the bullpen? I think that's going to be the big key. I mean, it's kind of the elite bullpen of Arizona versus the elite starting pitching of North Carolina, and who can kind of get the lead at the right time to hand it over to the big dogs and let them eat kind of thing. I think that's kind of going to be the biggest storyline to me. And then just, Arizona going in and, facing a team that could be a national championship contender in North Carolina. You got the ACC champs versus the Big 12 tournament champs. See who can kind of, stand out between those two. It should be a really fascinating matchup between two teams that are pretty evenly matched up, I think.
Shotgun, looking at the last 16 teams here in the College World Series playoff, is this as wide open as it's been in the last few years where really anybody that's still alive could win the whole thing?
Possibly. I mean, I don't know if a couple of the 4 seed. I don't know if Murray State's going to have enough to take it all the way, but it's been a great story for them to make it to where they are, and they've got a chance to go into Duke and make some noise with a Duke hosting for the first time ever. So that presents its own challenges and its own uniqueness there. That maybe there's a little bit too much hype or whatever it may be, and all the extras that come with it. So everyone's got a chance here to make it to Omaha for sure. I don't think that there's any slam dunk automatics this weekend. But it's going to be really fun to see who can kind of come out. And I think anyone can kind of win it. There's probably 4 or 5 teams that you think are best suited when they get to Omaha. But a couple of those teams will have to play each other. I think Florida State and Oregon State, I think, are both national championship contenders, and they're going to face off this weekend and probably the most compelling super regional out there. But you also have Arkansas, Tennessee. That's another one where you feel like either one of those teams, whoever wins that, should be considered one of the favorites going to Omaha. So, there's a lot of really good teams right now, and I think the parity of college baseball is showing itself a little bit more, where it's not just the NIL dollars that you spend. We saw a bunch of those teams that spent the most sitting at home during regional weekend or getting knocked out of regionals pretty quick with some older teams that had played for each other. So it was a really fun regional weekend. I'm expecting a really fun super regional weekend as well.
Well, and speaking of which, the SEC, they had so many teams in the NCAA the tournament.
Not anymore.
And now there's only just a few left. What do you make of that? And do you believe that maybe there is a favoritism towards the Southeastern Conference?
There is a favoritism, no doubt, because they have found the right way to game the RPI, and everything leads to RPI still, unfortunately. So you look at it and you go, oh, Kentucky gets in as the 13th team instead of a UConn team that's been to Supers multiple times. The SEC just didn't show out on opening weekend. It's kind of how they've done a phenomenal job. Their administration and everyone of figuring out what is the best way to get us the most teams in everything, every postseason, whether it be the college football playoff, whether it be the NCAA basketball tournament, whether it be the NCAA baseball tournament. They have done a phenomenal job of figuring out the best ways to boost RPIs, to have programs that are well regarded in that way. But we've seen sometimes that they don't necessarily show out to the full extent. And, as we've seen NIL and the transfer portal create a little bit more parity these last couple of years. So I think that, they've got the benefit of the doubt, and they do have some of the best programs in the nation. I still think Arkansas, Tennessee, whoever wins that may end up being one of the favorites in Omaha. But it also shows that it's not just the SEC. There's talent all around. And, the unbalanced schedules of these power conferences now, these giant monster conferences, there's going to have to be more detail put into that, I think, by the selection committee to look at it and say, a team like Kentucky that goes 13-17, I think it is, or 13-18 when you add their SEC tournament games, I think is what they finished at. Like, that shouldn't get you into an NCAA tournament. I'm sorry. It shouldn't. There should be a team like UConn. The Big East should have gotten multiple bids. The SEC could have given one away. And I think it proved itself in regional, where we saw some teams that really performed well. But when it comes down to it, it's each individual program. It's not about the conference itself. It's about what each team, what each program can do. And so the SEC only has, 3 left, I believe it is. So it could be those 3 that are the last 3 that are standing, or at least two of those could be the last of the last standing, because 2 of them will play this weekend.
We're talking with Shotgun Spratling from D1 Baseball here on ESPN Tucson. And going back to the Arizona versus North Carolina series, outside of Arizona's pitching rotation, Owen Krumkowski, he's going to be on the mound today going up against North Carolina. Who's that one guy that you're really interested in watching play for Arizona, and who's that other guy on the other side for North Carolina?
I mean, it starts with Brendan Summerhill. I mean, he just hasn't been quite the same since he's come back from that injury. He is such a talented player that if he gets going, it changes the entire dynamic of the lineup. And their lineup has been really good. You mentioned the runs they put up throughout the postseason, what they did in that regional. Obviously, they didn't have to face Oregon, so that made things a little bit easier when the 4 seed knocks off the 1 seed. But, they ran their way right through that. The wind was howling out to right field the last couple of days over there at PK Park, and they took full advantage of it, driving balls out of the park over and over and over. where they have 8 home runs on the Saturday, I believe it was.
Yep.
One of them got robbed, so they could have had 9. Like, that's just ridiculous. And I talked with the UVU coach, and I talked with Cal Poly, that Sunday before they were going to face Arizona. They said it's definitely going to be a challenge just to keep the ball in the yard, and it was once again with Aaron Walton hitting 3. But I think the fact that they did all that and Brendan Summerhill is not going at the rate we know he can go at means there's an extra gear that this offense can kick in. And if they can, that turns this into a potential national championship caliber team. Because you've seen what those other guys can do with Guzman kind of going now, with Mason White locked in, with Aaron Walton going. If you get that, you lengthen that lineup farther and farther, then it becomes a much more dangerous team with the pitching staff that they have. And then on the other side, it's kind of the same thing. It's the leadoff hitter. It's Kane Kepley. He is the guy that sets the table for everything. I know Gavin Gallagher had a monster regional. I think he went 13 for 18. He hit 4 or 5 home runs. He was outstanding. However, he also won regional in most outstanding player last year, and then was like 3 of 35 the rest of the way, and like 0 and 12 in Omaha. So keep an eye on him. Can he continue what he did, or does he go into a shutdown mode again like he did last year? But I think Kepley at the top of the lineup is the guy that sets the table. He is a phenomenal center fielder. He's going to steal at least a couple of hits away from Arizona that you think would be getting down off the bat. So he's the guy to keep your eye on. He's really fun to watch, and he's going to make an impact in some form or fashion this weekend.
Shotgun, you've been to more college baseball parks than most. What's your favorite ballpark that you've been to?
Ooh, that's a tough one. The first thing that pops into mind is always Eddie D. Field, which is Eddie D. Field Stadium, which is Pepperdine's home field, because how can you not love just the view of the ocean behind the left field wall when you're looking out and seeing that, and driving up PCH to go to a game at Pepperdine. However, unfortunately, it hasn't been, Pepperdine hasn't been going very well in the last few years. So I haven't had a chance to get up there for any significant games. So, I've got a chance to pop around a couple of the SEC stadiums. I mean, I went to Mississippi State for a super regional. That place is unlike anything else, just with the cowbells going, with the grilling in the outfield. They get 10,000, 12,000, 13,000 fans out there. I mean, the weekend I was there, they set a record the first day. They reset it the second day, and then they set a record for most in a weekend on the third day. So,
wow.
It's a phenomenal experience out there. Just get a chance, and it's full 360. You walk around the entire field, and get an experience out there for sure. So that one definitely stands out too.
So now you're in Louisville, like you said, for the Louisville-Miami Super Regional. Who do you like coming out of that series?
Louisville pitched really well last weekend. If they can continue to pitch, then that's going to be the key for them. Miami, I mean, both of these teams are kind of mid-tier ACC teams. Like, these are teams that shouldn't be in the Super Regional if you're looking for the top 16 teams, but they're hot at the right time. They both lost, 6 or 7, I think it was, going into the ACC tournament or in the ACC or after the ACC tournament. So they weren't coming in hot. They finished 9th and 10th in the ACC. But that shows you also the depth of the ACC. It shows you the depth of the SEC is very similar, that these mid-tier teams aren't necessarily the best teams, but if they get hot at the right time, they're capable of beating anyone. And that's what we saw last week with Louisville knocking off, Vandy, with Miami being able to run through the regional, getting a game-saving catch in the first game against Alabama, and then running through the rest of the way, beating Southern Miss to win that regional down in Hattiesburg. I think Louisville, if they pitch like they did last week, then their offense is just super fun to watch. They've got some guys at the top of the lineup that are, that are 2nd and 8th, I believe, in the nation in stolen bases. You got, I'm blanking on the name at the top of the lineup, but he's got 48 stolen bases so far this season. So they've got guys that can really, can make some havoc, create some havoc on the base pass, and make things interesting. And that's kind of the aggressive style that they've always had under Dan McDonald. So I'm looking forward to seeing if Tanner Smith, an Oregon State transfer catcher, can slow down that run game as well as the pitching from Miami. These two teams, they're ACC foes. They did not play this year. So it is interesting that they will play in the Super Regionals. So it will be the first time they matched up. So there's not necessarily that familiarity that there would normally be with a conference foe that you faced earlier in the season.
How much bodily harm would Justin be in jeopardy of by calling it Louisville instead of Louisville?
I don't know how serious they take it. I went to a school that is technically Maryville College in East Tennessee, but there were hats that said MURVUL, Murrayville. So and there was it's definitely a sign of pride when you the classic local intonation of how you say your school's name or you say your city's name. But I don't know how hard they take it on the outsiders here in Louisville.
Oh, they take it hard. I mean, you're in jeopardy of a special sauce that you don't want in your food from a server if you keep calling it Louisville.
Louisville. All right, that is Shotgun Spratling. He is from D1 Baseball. He's going to have all the coverage this weekend in Louisville for the Miami Louisville Super Regional. And then plus he's going to be checking in on the Arizona-North Carolina series, which gets started in less than 10 minutes. Shotgun, you're the best. Always appreciate your insight. Thank you once again, and have fun out there this weekend.
Thank you guys for having me.
Appreciate it, man. All right, and coming up next, Ali is going to give you some best bets for the weekend. Stick around.
Best bet.
Huge thank you to our listeners. We appreciate you guys for always listening to us from 7 to 9 a.m. And we also thank the sponsors of Spears and Ali, Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Some great information there. If you missed the Right Way guys, make sure you check out the Spears and Ali podcast. Also, huge thanks to Tucson Federal Credit Union and the Volpe team at Nova Home Loans. So we're all of us here in the studio, we're all gambling degenerates. And, I was...
Speak for yourself.
I was fist pumping yesterday because I'm like, yeah, baby. The Oklahoma City Thunder, they're about to win me 25 big ones. Yes, sir. Snacks at the movie theaters, courtesy of the Oklahoma City Thunder. And then Tyrese Halliburton said, yoink, psych, Justin. Yeah. No snacks for you at the movie theaters.
Right, I can't laugh too hard. I've been betting no joke, 50 cents here. $1 here. So
perfect.
So now I'm out $13 because of Tyrese Halliburton.
Perfect.
Yeah. So how can I get my money back, Ali?
Well, looking at the lines, looking at how that game unfolded, the bets that I did win all had to do with player defense, which is something I look at a lot. OKC's got a defense that creates a lot of turnovers. We saw 24 turnovers from Indiana. They still won, but the defense is stifling, and they're going to continue to create turnovers. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is averaging 2.3 steals a game in the playoffs. He had a couple of games with 0, but most games he's at least 2 steals. So I have just made the bet. I'm riding with you on Sunday. I would bet 2 steals or more for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander -110.
Okay.
That's the bet.
All right. I'm going to follow. Hopefully I can get my money back.
How many steals?
2 steals.
2 steals. 2 steals.
2 steals. It's -110. Don't get greedy. And then, if I was going to do a parlay, I think I don't really want to do a parlay, but he's also the over-under for SGA is 34.5 points in this game. He scored 38 in the last game. He took 30 shots. The last time he scored that amount of points, he went 11 for 13 from the field. So the other bet is -140. No, it's -105. The other bet is because Shai Gilgeous-Alexander took so many shots in game 1, he's going to want to distribute more. So a couple other bets I'm looking at is for him to have over 6.5 assists.
Ooh.
And also for him to score under 34.5 points.
Ooh, can't wait. Game 2 should be a fun one. Great win for Indiana. Also happening this weekend, coming up here in a few minutes, we have Arizona baseball taking on the North Carolina Tar Heels for the Super Regional. You can watch that game on ESPN2. And also make sure you head on out to the Tucson Convention Center tomorrow night. The Tucson Sugar Skulls are facing the San Diego Strike Force. They're looking to get back on track. They lost the last couple of games, but this is a really good team. They've got some great players, and this is going to be a great battle. So 6 o'clock tomorrow night at the Boneyard. Go check out the Tucson Sugar Skulls and the San Diego Strike Force. And also, more importantly, happy National Donut Day to all who celebrate, which is also known as D-Day.
No, dude.
No, D-Day
That's so
is more
bad.
important.
That's so bad.
Yes.
Anniversary of D-Day, where the bravest among us, the best of the best, helped maintain freedom. So thank you to all that serve.
Thank you guys. We'll
FC
see you all
Tucson
Monday.
tonight.